A wasting asset in your hands. So Bitcoin, I think it's a great speculation. I've got something between 1 and I think just over 1% of my assets in Bitcoin. Maybe it's almost 2. That seems like the right number right now. Right. It's not, for me, it's not the greatest, it's not the, the great cure for all the monetary ills, et cetera. It's a great speculation. That's what I would say Bitcoin is.
Right. Paul, do you see this, though, in relation, I'm thinking about tech stocks now, because one of the things we have seen even over the past 2 months is just the move towards virtual. Anything that can be done virtually has had great success, whether it be Zoom or any of the big tech companies in the Valley, because we're all able to do that virtually. Is that the way you see Bitcoin? And separately, do you own gold? I was going to ask at the same time.
I have assets in gold also. I think gold can go substantially higher. And yes, the digitization of the world clearly benefits Bitcoin. I mean, we wouldn't even be talking about Bitcoin if we weren't seeing first cousins like Venmo and a variety of other ways. My children don't even carry cash. They barely even know what cash is. So we're clearly digitizing the global economies. You've seen some countries do it explicitly, like India. You're seeing other countries on the way to do it, like China. So we're getting in an increasingly digitized world, and Bitcoin will be that much more accessible by that universe of people that could own it as a store of value. When you think about every bull market, every single bull market has one common thread, an ever-expanding universe of people who own it. So there's probably, the estimates are between 55 and 70 million people own Bitcoin. We really, if you're buying Bitcoin, your bet is that number's going to go to 120 million or to 200 million. And it's kind of hard when you look around and you see that the world's becoming increasingly digitized, not to think that the preponderance of evidence at this point in time doesn't point in that direction. But again, when I think of Bitcoin, I look at it as one tiny part of a portfolio. It may end up being the best performer of all of them. I kind of think it might be, but I'm very conservative. I'm going to keep a tiny percent of my assets in it, and that's it. It has not stood the test of time, for instance, the way that gold has, which has been a store of value for 2,500 years.
Right. Hey, Paul, before we let you go, tonight's a big evening. I've been attending for many, many years the Robin Hood Foundation's gala event in person. It's taken place at Javits for many, many years. This time, it's being done virtually. It's going to be broadcast on CNBC along with a host of other networks in New York City. Just tell, how hard was it to get this one together?
Well, This is unlike anything that I've ever been involved with, because I've never been involved in producing a TV show. It's going to be a spectacular night. It's going to be an hour of great messaging and great entertainment and diversion for the millions of people that have just had enough of COVID. So we've got Robert De Niro kicking it off. We've got an iconic, maybe the most iconic New York entertainer closing the show. We've got acts such as Lin-Manuel Miranda is going to have 8 other Tony Award winners doing a great rendition. And we've got some great film clips of New York's greatest sports comebacks, because that's really what we've got to do here. We've got to come back as a nation, and in particular in New York, from COVID. 1 out of every 4 deaths in this country happen in New York City. And so New York City deserves some special help and some special attention. And